some good did come out of it because she dies, and then around that time I get together with my girlfriend who has a cat, and she told me, "Oh, this, you'll have to be careful around my cat. She loves me, but she hates everybody else." But once I met her and got to know her, she jumps in my lap now every time I see her. So we essentially share this cat now because she's more obsessed with me than she is with my girlfriend. So
That has nothing to do with your cat, though.
well, what I'm saying is though I was sad when we had to put down my cat.
Okay,
And
but
then I get
you got the cheer up.
exactly. I got cheered up, and I can move on because I have a new cat in my life. So, but not, and I also have two other cats too. my
Todd's
cat,
a cat lady.
well, my cat. Well, see, the cat that I'm talking about who died lives in my parents' house. She was my cat there. So I mean, I didn't. I've never owned pets since I've lived in Knoxville. But she had a brother and a sister. They're still alive. They still live with my parents. But we are remarkable how well we take care of animals. She lived till she's 16. The next cat in line is now she just recently turned how old?
15? 14? 13.
13 years old, and the youngest is 10 years old. So
Those are old animals.
yeah, but they're still spry. They still run around, have fun. The one who's 10 is an outdoor cat, and he goes outside and roams around and comes back in later, at night, things like that. So
Not bad.
I don't know what we do, but somehow we
I
manage
miss
to
my
make it.
dog. My dog's like 13. She's kind of on her last legs. But
She's still alive?
yeah, she is still alive.
Oh, okay.
But she's definitely on her last legs.
We had we had a dog too who lived till 13. She was born in 94, died in 07. And
She made it through the 90s. She made it through an entire decade.
She did.
That's big for an animal.
She was actually born right before Kurt Cobain died. I'll never forget that. She was born like in March of 94.
Well, damn. Do you
Yeah,
actually
isn't that
remember
April?
Kurt Cobain dying? Do you actually remember that? I don't. None of it.
I remember it the same way I remember a lot of things like now is through the news coverage. Like I remember seeing it on CNN and on news
I don't even remember
stations.
seeing news reports. I was only 4 years old.
Yeah,
But
well,
still.
I watched a lot of TV when I was a kid. I still
You watched CNN at 4, though?
Well,
5 years old, I
well,
guess,
it
for
was
you?
on, and see, my parents were still kind of young enough that they knew they weren't really big fans of Nirvana, but they knew who Kurt Cobain was. They knew Nirvana, and so they, when they heard it, it was like, oh, it's kind of a shocking story.
See, I guess my parents were on their way to just being old and not caring, so we didn't really.
Right.
My dad was probably in his
yeah.
early 40s by the time Kurt Cobain died, so he
Right.
just didn't care.
Right.
And my mom was pushing 40,
Mm-hmm.
and she was just preoccupied with other crazy things.
Right.
But just, I don't remember it. The first
Yeah.
the first time I actually became aware of Nirvana was probably like 2000.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I knew him before the 90s, but I to be honest, I never really got into him, listened to him more until we started doing this show. Seriously, I mean, I always knew their
They're
music.
great, aren't they?
They're a great band, but I started paying more attention when we started doing more of the 90s music, obviously, and in the same respect, I know exactly where I was when OJ was on the big high-speed chase.
I was never aware of OJ.
Where it was on CNN. We were, ironically enough, because I was on vacation last week, we were on our family vacation in '94. That was a big one because my parents went, two of my cousins went, and my grandmother went. It was a whole big family trip, and we were sitting in a hotel room and we were watching it happen as it was going on.
I think I
crazy
first
time.
became aware that O.J. Simpson was a football player at one point in his life, probably when I was 13. So
Right,
that took a while.
It was really weird because I knew him from the Naked Gun movies, and I loved those movies when I was a kid.
O.J. Simpson was in The Naked Gun.
You didn't know he was in the Naked Gun
Well,
movies?
I've never really seen The
Never
Naked
seen
Gun.
them. They're
to be
hilarious
honest.
films, and he works well off of Leslie Nielsen, and
And then he went on to
really
kill
fun.
people.
And he killed people after the last one. came
Allegedly.
out. Yeah, allegedly. Whatever.
Actually, it was a short-lived show on HBO for a while, the Chris Rock Show.
Oh yeah.
I actually recently saw a bit that he did. It was a 90s show, I think.
It was 90s, 97.
But it was a play on the O.J. Simpson thing, and O.J. Simpson is like, yeah, O.J.'s releasing this new DVD. It's called like I Didn't Do It, but if I did, here's how it happened. And then like 10 years later, he actually
wrote a book called, and I quote, "If I Did It."
Oh. That was a weird decade.
It was the
even weirder side of the 90s.
This is why we honor this decade every week, because it was the craziest decade. It was really the prelude of things to come, because the decades have continued to get weirder and weirder. I mean, think about the 2000s, September 11th. You know, all of that went
I
down.
wouldn't say that was strange.
It was well. I
That
mean,
just sucked.
well, no, it sucked, but it was strange. You know, to have an
Oh,
attack,
okay.
an
I'll give
attack
it-
on
oh.
American soil for the first time since Pearl Harbor, and then
Very
before that, not until like what Civil War, Spanish American. You know, it was
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
crazy for that. You know, and then look at this. I don't this
Discarding all like domestic terrorist
Right.
acts.
this decade, the 2010s, it's like this is like the person who we keep in the back of the house. We don't talk about them. They're there, but we don't talk about them. That's what this decade is. That's how crazy this decade is. They're the person in the back of the house.